We're going to go and have a Turkish breakfast with a little bit of a twist. Let's just call it like a Turkish breakfast version 2. It's like a new flair on the same tradition. Welcome to Turkey.
Welcome.
So we're in Istanbul. We actually arrived a couple of days ago because we came direct from Korea to here. It was an eventful flight. We wouldn't film it.
It was pretty boring apart from one part.
So we were about 3 hours out and food was being served, or the breakfast, when we were arriving. And I went to grab my headphones and they were plugged into the console thing, and they knocked an entire cup of hot tea directly onto my lap and man bits.
So we've decided to stay in an area called Kadıköy. There's an accent over the O, so I'm sorry about my pronunciation. Which is basically like they call it like a up-and-coming sort of like hipster area. There's heaps of cafes and bars and restaurants and like music.
Sounds like it's really gone through a bit of a growth period over the last couple of years in that sense. And like, if you've been watching us for a while, you know we always like to try and find the places that are a little bit different. So Istanbul, should we quickly mention like the way it's split?
Yes. Okay, so it's quite a unique kind of country because it's transcontinental. So part of it is in Asia, the majority of it is in Asia, and then the other part of it is in Europe.
We're staying on the Asia side, which is the not so common.
No, it's super residential. Not many people speak English, we've found, so we've been struggling a little bit with that, but it's fun, like it's an adventure.
Today we're going to go show more of this area, and we need to explore a bit further ourselves, and we're going to go and have a Turkish breakfast with a little bit of a twist. Probably hear the noise in the background. That's kind of the polarizing thing about this area, is that there's these long laneways like this that are very residential. The noise is, we'll pass a little bit. The noise is this guy up the top there doing some like building and construction and everything. So even now and then we walk down one that is completely residential, and then we walk down one, or like we're about to walk out into now, and there's just, you can't walk 5 meters without finding another great little cafe or like a local little spot, a local little eatery. But that's kind of what makes it fascinating, because then you've got these little local spots like that, and then as you walk a little bit further around, you've got these new spots that have opened up that definitely sort of fit the vibe of what we look for when we travel, as well as keeping it local, and then just these tiny little streets. So we've walked out now into what's more the motor area, where we're sort of in Kadikoy, although I still think that's the area, but we can start to see now we're heading down towards the water, so we're going to go down to see the pier afterwards. So the breakfast, lots of our friends who are YouTubers have come through Turkey and they've shown the really traditional Turkish breakfast, and we sort of wanted to do the same, but we've seen those videos and you probably have as well, so we were like, how can we do something a little bit different? We found this really interesting place called Munchies Crepes and Pancakes. And they do like let's just call it like a Turkish breakfast version 2. It's like a new flair on the same tradition.
İki mançiz daha mı dedi sen daha sonra? Bir saniye. Peynirleri.
We have just had the most amazing tray, or like grazing platter, put in front of us. We should mention that half of it is kind of more traditional, so that's kind of this half here. And that are you ready for me to go through all of this?
Do it.
It's going to take a while. So on this side is like the savoury side. We've got cheeses and meats in the middle. And then around the side here we've got labne, an olive, tapenade, another spread which I've actually forgotten the name of. And then we sort of, also tomatoes and cucumber are really traditional to eat for breakfast as well. Halloumi, yep. A bunch of different types of cheeses. And then we go into the sweet side, which is pancakes, loads of different jams, peanut butter, fruit, Nutella, which is on lots of platters I've heard, a hazelnut spread, and then honey. It looks incredible. And also we should mention they always have Turkish tea at breakfast time. So it starts with tea and then you kind of like migrate into coffee at the end. So let me try this. It looks really hot. Really hot but nice. Like a little bit sweet. Not too sweet though. I like it. I'm sure everyone kind of knows what a pancake tastes like, so I won't go for that. I'm going to start with savoury, and I don't really know what goes with what, so I'm just guessing here, but I've gone for halloumi, tomato, and the labne. So, let's see. Seems strange for me to eat this for breakfast, but I'm into these flavours, so we'll see. The halloumi is really good. Dane hates it when halloumi has that like squeaky texture, but this doesn't have that at all, so I think I really like it. Tomatoes are really, really sweet, and that labne is just like super creamy.
So it's like a yogurt type feeling, or what is it?
I think so. I mean, let me try it on my own, on its own. It's like a thick Greek yogurt, but not like, not too sour.
So I'm just going for pretty much trying the other half of the plate. The other half of the plate. Oh, I tried the squeaky cheese, and it is squeaky. Halloumi is just like, maybe I just always noticed the squeak. I totally did. So I'm trying some of the stringy cheese with the meat, and then I'm not sure, I can't remember what the red looking kind of paste is. 3 so random flavours all in the same place. The stringy cheese I don't think has much flavour, either that or the maybe it's like sun-dried tomatoes with like peppers. There's a little bit of spice in that like tomatoey one. That's kind of like the strongest flavour. We were so focused on the food that we didn't even notice this enormous, well, I can't even see the top of it, this old building here. Not really sure what it is exactly, but that's kind of what we like, areas like this where there's the new right next to the old, and then you've got the vines and stuff coming up over the wall there. The other cheese that is on this plate here, which we think is a feta, is possibly some of the best feta I've ever had. It is so creamy and like super rich as well. So I've now delayed the move over to the sweet side has been delayed a little bit because I'm definitely getting. Oh, there's the little ones in here too. I didn't notice these. I don't think this is overly Turkish, is it? But we had these in Vietnam a lot. They're the little like packaged triangle cow cheese things. I think I'll be sticking with the feta.
From what we've seen in red, it looks like the traditional breakfast comes with like a bread basket. So normally you have your dips and everything with different types of bread. Obviously we've got our pancakes. And the other thing we noticed was that honey and Nutella seem to be the two kind of like main sweet spreads. But the honey is normally the kind of, how do you explain it, like real honeycomb?
Yeah, honeycomb,
yeah.
like cube. Like.
Yeah, we don't have that, but it's still like a really nice thick honey, so I'm going to try that first. I won't lie to you, it just tastes like normal honey, but it's nice.
It's only natural that things would start to get a little bit out of hand. When you've got, like, it's kind of crippling having so many options that you sort of start off just going a little bit of this with a little bit of this, and then by the end of it you're like 7 flavours on the same thing. Now we've progressed a lot into the sweet factory here. We've got pancake, peanut butter with Nutella, with, well, Stacey's done banana, I did strawberry on top, and it's just deliciousness. Insanely full.
I feel so sick, but in a good way.
In like a, I don't know, there's
possible.
just so many temptations there, it's kind of hard to stop.
Yeah, what was your favourite?
Ooh, I mean the feta and the honey that I showed was probably my favourite.
I liked that hazelnut spread. It tasted like Bueno, like the chocolate bar.
Oh, when you mix it with Nutella, it does.
It was so good.
We're curious to hear what would your favourite be, what would you do, because the combinations we started to get into were just...
They were a bit weird.
They were just absolutely stupid. Anyway, you can see the sun's out now, it's definitely a lot warmer. And we're going to head down now. There's a really beautiful pier, so we're just heading down. Can see the water now. There's seagulls and like crows and stuff everywhere. It's kind of a weird, bit of a weird feeling, but...
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, we had no idea walking into that cafe.
Oh yeah, it's a good point.
What we were going to order, because they don't have menus, so the staff there actually just talk to you and they say you've got 2 choices.
In English, I should say. Yeah, she spoke really great English.
So she said, do you want pancakes with sweet, and then you choose how many, or do you want half-half, so half savoury, half sweet? Had no idea how much it was going to cost, but it came to 80.
80, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think in terms of local costs is probably considered maybe a little bit expensive.
Probably. I mean, you can get that kind of Turkish breakfast everywhere, but the twist
Yeah.
with the pancakes was cool.
Yeah, I mean, for us, in terms of the value that you can get in Turkey, it's insanely good. Maybe more so over this side, but I suppose we'll figure that out in future
Yeah.
videos and once we travel a little bit more around the country as well.
We just come out onto the motor pier, and there's just water everywhere, there's music playing. It's such a cool little area.
We instantly kind of love it down here already. We've gone a bit rogue here. We're hoping.
I don't know if this is
Is this a thing?
the right direction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sugar?